What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you saw the last video, at the very end of it, I kind of mentioned about doing a flow coat on the truck just because I wasn't too happy with how the clear laid out, and there is some kind of a little bit of waviness in some of the doors. So what I think I'm going to do is just go through. I have enough clear coat. I think I'm going to block everything down, make sure everything is nice and flat. Now that it's actually warm outside, I can keep the shop up at like 75, even close to 80 at sometimes, and the clear just lays down so much better when it's warm out. So I'm gonna go through the worst spots, and I'm just gonna use paint sticks as my block. They're a lot more rigid. You take like 3 or 4 paint sticks and stack them up, and then wrap your sandpaper around that, and go at it with wet 600 grit, and we can block these things out nice and flat. Honestly, the driver's doors are pretty good. The passenger doors, for some reason, they got some little waviness in them, so it's not too bad. We got 3 coats of clear on here, so we should have enough clear to block it out flat and straight, and then we'll come back through and shoot everything with 2 more coats of clear. So that's kind of the game plan. I think at the end of the day, I'm just going to be so much happier with this paint job if I go through and do it right and do this flow coat. So that's the game plan. Let's check it out. I'll kind of show you guys what is going on. So the front fenders look really good. These doors, this side looks really good. There's a little bit of waviness up here that I didn't really notice, and there must have been a little bit of body damage there, and it's just a little bit of a kind of a low spot on each corner. And the rear door, it's not bad. There's just, like I said, just a little bit wavy. This side is a little bit worse on the rear door especially. I don't know if you're gonna be able to really see on camera, but it's just a little bit wavy. You gotta look at it at the right angle and the right light, but especially when you get it outside, you can see it a little more, and it's not cut and buff. So once you get a nice flat reflective surface, that's gonna show up a lot more. So really, a lot of this clear coat didn't lay down that bad. Like, there's not, I mean, yeah, there is orange peel in it, but it's not terrible. So either way, what I think I'm going to do is, like I said, block it out with 600. We're gonna go up to 800 for our final sand, and then we'll mask it all off again, get it in the booth, and we'll do 2 coats of clear. So I'm just gonna start on this side, start on the rear door. Like I said, paint sticks, 600 grit. Let's hit that door. We'll finish it off with 800. All right, guys, we got this door blocked out. That's about as far as I'm going to go with 600. There's still some texture in areas, but the 800 grit is going to take care of that. I just wanted to cut it down with 600 and make sure there was just a little bit of a ripple right through here, and I could see when I was blocking it out a little bit of low spot kind of right down and through there. So you can see we still need more work with 800 grit. And also, you guys know this bottom, I put the texture chip guard. So I'm just going to cut it flat, like 3 inches down. And then the bottom, I'm just gonna hit with Scotch-Brite to scuff that up. So I don't have any 800, I gotta run to the store. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get the front door here busted out with 600, get that blocked flat. And well, I'll probably work on that front fender too. Get this whole side blocked out flat with 600. All right guys, we're making some progress on these doors. So I got this one flattened out and it looks really good, but I want to show you guys real quick. So this rear door looked perfect before I painted it. I did fill a couple little dings here and there, and in primer obviously it hides so much, but now that it's painted, you really can see the waviness. I really don't think I made this panel wavy. I think it was just kind of wavy from, you know, being from a 2004, but we're gonna straighten it out. So you can see the difference in the texture when I start sanding it. So I just barely touched it with a sandpaper, ran over it real quick, and you can see it's kind of just a little bit ripply right through here. There's a little bit of a low spot right there, and then maybe a little bit back here. So what we're gonna do is just keep blocking this out until, you know, it looks nice and flat like that. And then we know we'll have a nice straight panel. One thing you gotta be careful of is you do not want to burn through this clear. So if there's a spot where you just sand and it is not coming out, you just stop. You either gotta stop and you gotta fill it, or you stop and you live with a little bit of a ripple. So we're gonna see how close we can get this. This was the worst of the doors. All right, we kept blocking on this door, and you can see it is all a nice, even, uniform texture. Well, I guess now there's no texture technically, but either way, it's nice and even and uniform. So now we should be straight. So we're gonna leave that. We're gonna go over everything we just did with 800 grit wet, and then I gotta jump on the roof, like I said, with the DA, and I'm just gonna knock down that orange peel real quick with a DA, and then all along this bottom, I want to keep that texture, so I just got Scotch-Brite pad. I'm gonna go through and buzz the bottom, hit the jams, hit all this stuff with just a Scotch-Brite pad. done, guys. 2 coats on the truck. I am happy with it. However, I feel so stupid. I made a massive mistake. On the first coat, I completely missed the front fender, so I didn't realize that till I came back in to spray the second coat. I realized that, so I hit that real quick. I did a light coat on that, and then I went to the driver's side and did that whole side, and then worked my way over to that fender. But that kind of screwed me up because I mixed enough paint based off of my first coat to do another coat, and with missing that fender, that kind of screwed me up. So I wasn't able to lay this clear on as thick and as heavy as I would like to have, just to get it to flow out. Some of the areas turned out really good. Some have a little bit of texture, but it's all a lot better than it was the last round. So I'm very happy with it. Another thing, the little waviness we had in our body panels looks 1,000 times better. So this should cut and buff really fast, really easy. I am gonna have to cut and buff it to get it to match the bed and the hood and everything else. But this cut and buff is gonna go really fast. It's not gonna need that much work. Let's check it out real quick. So you can see some areas, like say that pillar there is absolutely no texture. It laid out perfectly flat. Coming into these doors, I was kind of having to go a little bit lighter because I was running out of paint, making my way back up to the front. So all in all, it's a lot better than it was before, so I'm very happy with that. There's a little bit of dirt here and there, but all in all, it is much better. So I was kind of worried about this fender stacking on 2 coats so quick. I was worried about it popping a little bit, but it didn't pop. We didn't have any issues, and it actually laid out pretty good. So I am very happy with that. The roof looks really good. I was able to just slam that clear on the roof and get it to flow out. So very happy. Let's check this side. Not really, about the same as the other side, just a little bit of texture. But like I said, it should cut and buff really fast, really easy, and should make my life much easier. Plus the biggest thing I was worried about was a little waviness. So this side really didn't have anything. I guess there was a little bit right up there, which is, I don't know, 90% gone. There's just a little bit of a ripple at that corner. But this side, let's check out the rear door. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it on the camera, but it turned out really flat. And then this front door, you can see, looks really good. One thing I want to talk about real quick is dieback. I've never really figured out, I've never researched what dieback was. I didn't really know what it was. So dieback is, they call it a loss of gloss. And another thing that can actually happen with dieback is orange peel. The orange peel can get worse, which when I sprayed this thing out the first time, I did notice it laid out a little bit, and then it kind of, the orange peel started to come back after a few hours. So I think I actually had dieback on the first time I painted this. So a few things that can cause dieback is slamming coats on way too fast, way too soon, way too heavy. I didn't do that. My coats were pretty light, and I had like a half hour in between coats, so I know it wasn't that. So what I think caused my dieback issues was not leaving the fans on, not leaving enough airflow after the clear coat is on. It's releasing solvents, and if those solvents don't get pushed away from the truck, they land right back on top, and they kind of screw with the clear coat curing, and that actually causes dieback. So I got all my fans on still. You can probably tell it's a little bit loud in here. I'm gonna leave these running for a couple hours just to make sure it brings all the solvents away from the truck, make sure we don't have any more dieback issues. So all in all, very happy. I'm gonna give this probably, I don't know, it's warmer out, so they say to give it 12 hours to cut and buff. I like to give it longer than 12. What I might do is cut it like I did with the other stuff, cut the orange peel out, let it sit for a day, and then we'll come back and buff it. But we're gonna give it probably a day or two before we even start sanding on it. So that's the game plan. We'll get back after it once this clear coat hardens up, give it a cut and buff, and we can finally put this truck back together. Well, I'm gonna wrap this video up here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.